Okay, one more time. So everything we did last week, I don't know, the audio wasn't working and we were trying to go too fast. So I'm just gonna review that. We brought in the sprite. Well, first we brought in the tile map. So this big image here, I say big, it's super small, pixely. We brought that in. We're gonna make some cool stuff with that. We use the tile map editor to turn that into all of these individual tiles, and then we can start painting and doing cool stuff. So we've got our tile palette up here. I've got it docked up in the side. It might be a floating window for you. You can just move it. So if it's like just hanging out, now it doesn't want to be a floating window. Anyway, it'll dock wherever you put it, and then maybe it'll go back to being a floating window sometime. All right, I want that next to the inspector, not, there we go. All right, it's back. Whatever. And so we came in, we made a grid, and we started adding layers to it, right? So we right click, 2D object, tile map, rectangular, and then we'd have another layer here. So I'm gonna do what we didn't get to do last week, and we're gonna make a danger layer. If it's called the danger zone and not the danger layer, you'll fail the whole thing. Like I don't care what you call it, as long as you know what it is and it works. Okay, so I've got this level here, and this is everything that has colliders on it. We'll look at the colliders again. So in this layer that I made, I added the tile map collider 2D, and I added a rigid body 2D, and then made sure that gravity was off. So set gravity to 0. This helps. I also set the collision detection to continuous. So it may be less likely that we clip into it. And then I froze all the positions and rotations on that. We added the composite collider. And I think that was it. I've got the geometry type set to outlines instead of polygons. Actually, I'm going to go back to, we're going to set it on polygons because I think that one works a little bit better. And so it'll block us from going through it. So everything on that layer is stuff with physicality. Like it's got a collider on it, we can't go through it, it blocks us. So that's all of this. As I hide it, I can see that's stuff that I can travel on. I've got a background layer here. I'll turn that on and off. So that's a tree in the background. So I can go in front of the tree. For the foreground layer, I can go behind that. So I can go behind the rock that's disappearing, in front of the tree, and those are set up because of this order in layer, which I think we were trying to cover really quickly as everyone was packing up their bags and getting out, which, it was time. The level does. So I've got, fair question. So I got a tile map collider, and it's got also the rigid body and the composite collider. And then for the composite collider, the geometry type I set to polygon. Yeah. Without all the right settings, and I don't remember all of them all the time, but without the right exact settings, then sometimes things get weird, and you can clip into the world and do weird stuff. Yep. And there's actually, I feel like there's another checkbox that they either hid from me or, yeah, they just move things around. They're cool like that. Composite operation. Okay, that's it. It used to be a checkbox that said used by compositor, and now it's just a drop down. So we're going to say merge. So level, the stuff that we can stand on. We're in order in layer 0 here. So that's our base. The stuff we have behind. Background, we went back from 0. So that's at -1. It could be a -1000. Doesn't matter as long as it's less than 1. And I just hit that. So draw your levels out. What we didn't get to cover was How do I tell 15 screens? We sort of talked about it. But I've got this thing that I put on the Discord. And so let me find that in the homework chatter. It wasn't just Jacob's B. Everyone else missed it too. It's fine. You got it. So this is a package. So I just download this Unity package. While we're here talking about this, Unity packages are awesome. You can use them for all kinds of cool stuff. I had a Unity package for a coin and just drug it into this, and now I've got a coin with all the stuff on it. So let me grab that package that I just downloaded, and you can see all my awful file maintenance here. So 2D level ruler, I'll drag that into my project. And it's got just a prefab right here. So I'm going to say import it. And then if I drag this guy into the level, yeah, so that will tell you it's a ruler, right? It's amazing. I did that just for me while I was grading. But so you can see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So obviously that's 12. So that was our minimum. Or if you went to 15, it went here. The ruler only does lengthwise. So if you decided to do a vertical, like jumping up or jumping down level, it's not going to help you as much. I could, but look at the aspect ratio of that square, right? If I rotate it, it's going to be like, instead of 12 high, it'll end up being, I don't know, a bunch, 20 something. So you could rotate it, but this gives you an idea of what we're looking at for screens, right? Sort of. Okay. The danger layer. Okay, that's what we didn't get to. So I've got another layer here that I haven't even started painting in yet. It's the danger layer. And we can use that for lots of fun stuff that kills our player. So luckily in our tile palette, we've got spikes and things. So it's going to take this spike right here. And I'm on the danger layer and make sure it says danger in the tile palette. And let me just hide the level ruler because that's in my way. So if you accidentally, getting back to the danger layer, if you accidentally just fall off your map, you just fall forever, right? We don't want that. What if there's just a pit down here of spikes? Just to catch you if you fall, so it can reset the level. Yeah. You heard it here first. It's science. Okay. Something like that. And then just because we want to, we want to hurt people other places too. Put a spike right there. Okay. All right. Now, a couple things to set up on this layer. We've got nothing here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a collider on it. Tile map collider again. I don't need the rigid body. I'm going to add the composite collider. So tile map collider, composite collider. And then for the tile map, I'm going to check is trigger. You remember we did that on our pickups? We ran into them like we could phase through it, but we got a warning when we went through it. So I want to get a message when I go through the tile map collider that's a trigger. And again, set that to merge. The composite collider, I'll set to polygons again. Those should be fine. And it added a rigid body just because it felt like it when I added something else. So let's do that. Okay. And just one more over here, just for fun. All right, now we need to make a new script, which was in our assignment from last week, but we didn't get it covered. I'm going to go ahead and extend this to tomorrow night, by the way, for people whose laptops completely blew up in their faces over the weekend or whatever happened. That's the camera follow. All right, so I'm going to copy this script. We didn't even get to scripting last time, did we? Except for the movement. And so we got we did the camera ones. We got this epic fail script or danger zone script or whatever you want to call it. That is not the window I'm looking for. All right. And no, I just had it open because, I don't have a scripts folder. Interesting. Oh, because I've got it all out here. What a jerk. All right. Create folder, scripts. Grab those and move them over there, and I'll make a new script inside of that. Okay, so I'm going to right click, create mono behavior script, epic fail, or natural one, or whatever you want to call it. Open that up. I'm just going to paste in everything that I had on Canvas. So it's still using Unity Engine. We're going to bring in something called scene management. And we've got this on trigger enter 2D, which is the same thing we did with the pickups. So when I intersect with this, the object's going to find out that we intersected with it and run this code. So if we go through this thing that this is on, and the thing that intersected with it is, will you stop? There we go. Is tagged player. Then we're gonna write this debug log. So it's going to show up in the console that we intersected with it, and that's I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And then the real meat of what's happening here is a scene manager. And so it's just saying, hey, inside here, get the active scene and reload it. So I could say scene manager load scene, and I could just hand it a 0 if we wanted to do that, which I don't. Or if I said, you hit the spike, go to the next level. I don't know why we would send someone to the next level for getting killed, but we could do that. Yeah, game over level. So we're just going to load a different scene. Anyway, so that is looking for a number of what scene to load. And so I've just put in here as that number, I'm just saying, get the current scene, get the active scene, get that number, and use that. So it's just reloading whatever level we're in. Does that make sense? It's a very verbose way of just saying reload this level. But so if we hit the spike, we're just going to reload the level we're in. So save that. Apparently I used a slime last time, but now I've got Pac-Man running around, but whatever. And we wait. All right. Let me make sure he is tagged. So Pac-Man is indeed tagged player. I've got a coin here that's also looking for player. Now I need to go back to my danger level, danger zone, whatever. And I need to add that script we just made. So we're going to add epic fail to that. Save it and run it. Fantastic. I can't get over the tree. Oh, wall jump. You know what? This is why we put it down here. And he hits it and it resets. The camera didn't even catch up with him. He was dead that quick. Again, we can go behind the rock, in front of the tree, with the layering. The camera's slow, so that's the script we put on the camera. That smooth camera. Yeah. So that's the damping at 1. If we set that to like 0.5, it'll follow a little bit better. Yeah. And sometimes those things vary by your computer, right? Yeah. So like, did you get rid of your little Surface Book thing? That was his. Yeah, yeah. So if we were on that, frame rate, whatever. Yeah, a lot of physics things, or even the translate following, will be different sometimes on computers until we make a build of it. That seems to be all right at 0.5. Like, it follows them. What I didn't want was where the camera was fully locked on him, and like the Pac-Man or whatever your character is never leaves the center of the screen. It just, I don't know, doesn't look right to me. Yeah. Yeah, was it hard locked on him? All right. Okay. And then someone had asked, and then someone else answered. So good on y'all. How to erase stuff. So yeah, we got all these tools up here, and that's the eraser. So if I'm on level here, and I can just there now, I can get through there without having to do crazy wall jumps. But what I could do, right, is I can go to my background layer now, and let me grab the darker one so I can see the difference. So I can paint this in on the background layer, and I can see this darker, and I can jump through it. Does it logically make sense? Anyone been in a forest and seen this? No. It's fine. Let me see. There's a couple other things. Oh, the paintbrush. So check this out. So the paintbrush is fun, a little too fun sometimes. Uh, yeah. Stop. Just stop. Go away. It's terrible. Um, Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Yeah, the paint bucket just like throws it all down. This guy, the what are we calling it? Paint a filled box with active brush. Okay, so I can go and grab my water here, and I can drag out a square, and boom, I've got all the water tiled. So there's just a lot of cool tools up there, including the eraser. We'll make water be bad too. So we'll just put that on. We'll put on the danger layer. Yeah, you could drown before you hit the spikes. Yeah, looked like he pushed into it, so it resets. Nice, right? Well, it touched it enough to register. Yeah. Did you forget to lock them? Yeah. So I just pushed all of the danger away. It was like a Pac-Man force push. I don't know if you guys knew that was a thing. Yeah. I don't know how I hit it without it triggering, but it happened. So let me fix that. So make sure your danger layer is locked. I wonder if we can just do the tile map collider. If I take off the composite collider, it's going to remove that and remove the rigid body, and just have the tile map collider on the danger layer. And it looks like is it trying to wrap it? Just a little bit. But it's pretty much the squares. But it's okay. We can phase through it. We just need to know we hit. Let's just make sure that works still. It was the rigid body being on there that made me able to push that off. Yeah. Pac-Man's not a good swimmer. Okay, so another thing to look at here is this console. And you may have noticed the console already because you have error messages or warning messages down there that scare us. But also, we can leave logs in there that tell us stuff happened, right? So this there went slimy twice has been written to the log because I told it to, hey, when the character dies or hits something it shouldn't, write this to the log really quick. And this is just a good way, like, so put this inside your if statements or your else or whatever, so you can see if the code's even getting called. Because if like the spikes weren't killing me, I don't know if I put the wrong colliders on. I don't know if the code's wrong. I don't know what's going on. So I'll drop these debug.logs in just to see, are the things happening that I'm expecting? And it's helpful. It's a low budget way to debug, but it's a great way. I've had classes or pieces of code that I wrote that like every other line was a log, and so I could tell where it stopped working. So that would tell me which line, like, oh, this line didn't happen because none of the logs underneath that got called or printed. So just a cool little tool for programming, unless you're cool enough to set up breakpoints and all that other stuff. But yeah, this works. All right. While we're here and on this, that wraps up what we should have covered Thursday. Are there any other questions? Anything else about this part of the Forest of Doom that are still confusing?
Is there a specific sprite that we have to use for?
You can use any of the ones we've made. You can just use a square or whatever. We're going to go in and replace it later anyway. We're gonna come in and we're gonna get a fully animated knight with a sword and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, well then we'll turn him into a bad guy because we'll have enemies later too. Yeah. Yes. Imported the. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me find one. We'll do a different one. So it's about the character animation, spikes, water. Okay. So I'm gonna go find a different sprite. So we got Pac-Man in there. We'll use this guy. This one. No, we'll use this one. All right. Fair enough. Ooh. Okay. Into the sprites folder. We hope that happened. There it is. Okay. So when I pull it in, it's just one big, right? If I open this up, oh no, it auto cut it. Sometimes it'll do that. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes Unity's crazy. I don't tell you. So, for whatever reason, it decided to chop these up into different sprites. But we can have control over that the same way we did with the tile maps. I'm just going to grab this guy. He's already set to sprite. He's already set to multiple. We can change the. How big is that guy? Close that tab. So we can change the pixels per unit. Let's see what this is set at. Is he a big slime? Seriously, what did you just do? There we go. He's about the right size at 100. Okay, so we'll leave the pixels per unit alone. Sprite mode's on multiple, and then I am going to change this bilinear to point no filter so that we get crisp pixels and not like smoothed over stuff. Okay, so whether it chopped yours up or not already, I can go to the sprite editor. Yes, apply the changes that I did. So you can see it's a little more blocky here. There's some weird gradients or something going on there. And look at the squares. The squares are just like Unity tried to auto shrink to everything. And so when it animates, it might act weird. So I'm just going to change that to, instead of automatic, I'm going to do, you can either do by size or count, whatever is easier for you to figure out. I know this looks like a 3x3 sprite sheet, so I'm going to go 3 on the rows, 3 on the columns, and slice, and now they're all even. And you can kind of see the jump a little bit better. So hit apply. Close this tab. I don't know why they got it. They did away with the X. I've got to go through the weird. Okay, and then when you drag them in the first time, it'll say, "Hey, do you want a new animation?" So I think I already have one called new animation because it's being super basic. So we'll just call it slime animation. And I'm not adding anything else to him, so he should just like hover in place and do his jump. He's just there. He's like a ghost slime. Did any of that answer your question? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, what did I miss? No, you blame me for sure. What? How did I mess this up? Okay.
Did you by chance put it into the hierarchy instead of put it into the receiving? Because if you put it into the hierarchy, a lot of times the speed's supposed to.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, dragging it into the scene versus the hierarchy is different. So if it's not asking you to make an animation, then it probably is because you drug it into the hierarchy. Okay. Find my tile palette. Let's look at that a little closer because it's just cool. So we've got different shades, and you can see I'm using the darker stuff for the background. That's fun. These, like this is just a fully, yeah, exactly, right? So we've got a background color. So I'm probably drawing on who knows what level. Oh, it says the danger level. Fantastic. Yeah, watch for that. But using all these, you can add lots of depth, right? You could make a cave that you could go in front of the dark background and like behind another piece of it. So have fun with the layering. Do some cool stuff with that. Something else I was gonna. I lost it. Okay. Um, yeah, have fun with the tile palette, and I think we'll call that. I'm gonna just make it a different video. So we're gonna cover something else.